Yeah, that's me. Start of a new FIFA cycle, innit? And because of this banger of a video, I've got 10 career mode ideas that I can just smash out. But I'll go and start a new RTG. And before I can say,
You want it? Tell me then.
I've brought in 11 new pre-contract deals, and my team bloody looks like this. And then we start running through teams like that bloody Lambindaloo ran through me this weekend. I'm telling you, afters at mine was a bad idea. And yeah, I did concede to Manchester. Get off me back about it! And by the end of the season, your Centurions, you've smashed it. We've only lost 2 games. And again, we just sat there, falling asleep at our controller. What can we do to make sure that this doesn't happen every single year? Well, fear no more, because your boy's back with another banger. It's 10 more career mode ideas that you have to try this year in FC 24. Now, guys, the love on the last video was absolutely outstanding. You've absolutely smashed it. I think everyone who watched the video basically liked it, and I love to see it. Thank you so much for the support. And again, if you like this one, make sure you drop me a like in the comments. Make sure that you comment down below as well your favourite one. If you've got any ideas as well, tell me about it. I want to hear them. And also, I want you to tell me which one of these do you want to see on my channel this year, because I'm going to be active. Right there, no messing around. We're straight in with number 1. And it's going to be your favourite team, but realistic. Now, the first way to go about this is just by making sure that you're mimicking the signings that you're making in real life. So, of course, everyone knows by now. And to be fair, if you didn't, probably by my accent you can tell, I'm from Birmingham, I'm a Villa fan! And come on, in the most recent transfer window, Unai Emery has been cooking, so how could I not? But there is always that tendency to just overreach in your first season. Either by signing too many players, selling too many players, or just buying unrealistically. Now, this is what I do. I go and look at the rumours that are out there. So recently, Jack Harrison was rumoured to be moving to Birmingham. So by only going with recent rumours, it just adds a little bit of a level of challenge, and it gets you doing some research into the comings and goings of players from that team. Number 2 then is an absolute classic of FIFA YouTubing, and it's one of my personal favourites. It's the Youth Squad Legends, and if you don't know already, Sparring DK and the man Kutsi, they are the GOATs of this career mode, and they will be linked in the description. Now, basically, all you have to do is make sure that all of the real players in your squad, get them out of there, they're sold. And then you set yourself up a nice little youth academy squad. Now, it doesn't matter who they are for the first season. Get them in the squad. You can train them up. Dynamic potential, mate. They'll be shooting up through the roof. And then by the first season, you should have a real decent foundation. You can start playing games, start getting to know your team. But as you move up the divisions, you'll start to gain a little bit more pulling power, and you can start nicking some of the homegrown talents, some of the youth academy stars from other teams, and bringing them into your squad. And by the end of it, you'll be looking at a Champions League trophy. And I tell you what, this is one of the longest but the best careers that you can ever do. And I tell you what, you build such a relationship with the players. Straight into number 3 then, and this one is going to be the next legend. Now, this is very, very similar to the player career mode from my last video, but it's based around finding a young player from the world of football and making them the next best thing. Players that come to mind are Garnacho. What an absolute baller. And by taking my idea and following his career in manager mode, you'll be able to do what many managers have struggled with: making United great again. Oh, I've been hearing an absolute bag about this Hendrick fella. I don't know who he is, but create him in the main menu, stick him in the Real Madrid squad, and just make him the best player that ever lived. There'll be ups, there'll be downs, but I tell you what a career mode this will be for you. Other players that you could try, Thiago Almada would be a fantastic one, like a Messi regen. Amad Diallo as well, I've played with him, the geezer is incredible. And also, the second coming of Xavi and Iniesta. Just make Gavi better than both of them. Career mode number 4 then is going to be player to manager. Now, for every Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard, you've got the Zinedine Zidanes, the Jurgen Klopps and the Pep Guardiolas of this world. Players who have done it at the very, very highest level. and then gone on to become the very best football managers. Now, this is exactly what you're going to do. Pick an old boy who's still playing. You're going to go and start a player career mode, and then you're going to straight away go across my actions and retire them. Now, once you've done that, you're going to have an absolute host of teams coming calling, wanting your signature, and all you've got to do is go and choose your favourite. Now, I've stuck the most Brexit player in the most Brexit of teams. James Milner is going to take control of Burnley. And then it's over to you on how you play this career mode. Are you going to build a footballing philosophy around their youth academy system? For James Milner's team, are you only going to sign players that have got over 80 stamina? Or are you going to use your links to their former teams to go and get some of your old pals or some of the young guns into the new squad? This year on my channel, I did a Jordan Henderson Sunderland rebuild, and it was one of the best videos I've ever made. Right then, on to numero 50, and it's another one. It's a little bit nostalgic for me. It's Club and Country. Now, I used to watch Doxy's videos, and what a career mode that St Johnstone save was. Oh my god. The memes are coming back, you know. Steve McLean in that career mode. Incredible. Now, this career mode is just like it sounds. You basically take control of a club. Like Ross County here, you create a Scottish manager, and then you go into your team and you sell every non-Scottish player. Then you go into the transfer market and you shortlist as many Scottish players as you physically possibly can. And also, you set up a nice little youth academy system. This, of course, means that you can only sign Scottish players, and if you want to add even more of a challenge, you can stick them into the 4 tiers of English football. And of course, your final goal is to win the World Cup with Scotland. Number 6 is up next, and it's going to be AI Manager. Now, bear with me. I know this sounds a little bit weird, but AI is becoming absolutely stupid at the moment. You can literally ask it whatever. And I've been asking it, who should I sign for teams in career mode? And I tell you what, it's actually coming back with some half decent answers. Now, most of the time, it gives you like outdated stats or outdated teams. But if you ask it a couple of times, maybe in a few different ways, it actually gives you some half decent suggestions. Now, most of the time, it's based off like rumours or something like that. But now and again, it looks at their recent stats or the way a team's performing or maybe injuries and gives you some absolute left field shouts that you can go ahead and shortlist in your career mode. Now, like I said before, you might have to ask for more suggestions. You might have to ask for what kind of young players that you can go and buy, or you can specify a specific position. Like I do here with obviously Tyrone Mings being out at the moment with his ACL injury. What defensive player should Aston Villa sign? Or let's look at a left midfielder. Now, to make sure that this stays as a bit of a challenge, you'll be able to ask the AI 3 questions during your transfer window. And with those questions being asked, you should be able to generate at least 6, maybe all the way up to 9 players that you can sign in that window. And they are the only players you can buy. Now, if you're looking at my scouting list here, I'm looking at a few of my options, and I'm going to decide I'm going to need another right back, as someone who can challenge Matty Cash for that position. And I've gone with Jules Koundé. This is another way to make sure that you're just signing random players. You're not just signing players, that you sign every single career mode. And for an extra little bit of spice, you can always ask the AI, who should my team sell? Right there, number 7 is a little bit of a variation on the next legend, and it's called Family Tree. Now, we know some of the legends in football, they've been busy boys, and they've had himself a couple of offspring, just like Cristiano Ronaldo with Cristiano Ronaldo Jr. So why not create him in the starter menu and then try and emulate his dad's career? Or what about his former teammate? Son of Wayne Rooney, Kai Rooney, looks like he's going to be an absolute baller. Why not start him out at DC United and then see if he can make his way all the way back to Manchester United? And then last but not least, Romeo Beckham, son of David and Chris MD's best mate. Let's see if he can do it in the Premier League with Brentford and even break his dad's record. Most free kick goals in one season. Coming to the tail end of this list now with number 8, and it's going to be Free Agent FC. Now, each season in career mode, there's always an absolute steal to be had on a transfer market because loads of players end up being free agents. Now, you can see here, these are the free agents that I found just in the very first season. Some absolute steals to be had. Now, we're going to scroll along our list here and we're going to find Lord Voldemort's long-lost brother, Aaron Moore. And we're going to sign him up, but he only wanted to sign for one season. Now, that's the problem with these higher rated older players. They only want to sign for a year, but unfortunately that's all you can request from them. So next season Aaron Moy is out of the team, and these are our fresh batch of free agent signings. And with our £5 million, we have to replace all of the people who left at the end of their contract. So do we focus that budget on buying some of the higher rated players like Kante, Doucouré and Alexandro? Or do we focus our attention on players like Stephen Colker, Matt Doherty, Ross Barkley and build the team from the bottom up? Now, I'm going to go ahead here and sign a Jose Perez, but I have to delegate his contract negotiation. Now, this is going to bring me back a certain amount of years on his contract, and I have to accept it. This means that every year, 2 years or 3 years, if you're really, really lucky, you're going to have to rebuild your entire squad. And some years you're going to have like 14 attackers. Some years you're going to have basically no goalkeeper. It's going to keep it fresh, fun, exciting, and sign loads of random players you've never thought of playing with. Idea number 9 then is the Journeyman career mode. Now, if you're a fan of the channel, you've been around here for a while, you'll know I've just finished my Journeyman career mode with the old Tanquinho. We started in Miami with Messi just scoring bangers every single week. We then moved ourselves to Hamburg and we rebuilt the struggling League 2 side with some old school German ballers. Draxler here with one of the best goals that we scored in our time over there. We then had the call from the Premier League. Aston Villa wanted us, and Jacob Ramsey was just absolutely instrumental in getting us all of the way to the Champions League final. And then came Inter Milan. We had to rebuild them from total bankruptcy. And I tell you what, I absolutely fell in love with this squad. Noah Lang, an incredible player, probably the player of our series. But then this goal was scored by Gio Reyna. It was the perfect send-off to FIFA 23. And it's another career mode that you guys must try in the future. And once again, if you haven't watched this series, I don't know what you've been doing with your life, but get back and watch it after this video. Right then, guys, and the absolute pièce de résistance, number 10, is the realistic transfer rules. The ones you've been waiting for the whole video, I know. Now, these rules, if you employ them, should make your career mode as realistic as possible. Are they difficult to follow? Hell yeah. Do these make your rebuilds and your road to glories really long and really challenging? Yeah, of course they do. But I tell you what, they make the game so much more fun and you get to really fall in love with the team. So our first set of rules are for League 2. So number 1 is that you cannot sign any player that's over 68 rated unless they're an older player and they're coming towards the end of their career. No signings that are younger than 23, so you can't buy a load of wonder kids and build them up. Only buying from British League, so only from Scotland, Ireland and Wales. 1 pre-contract and free agent signing per season, but you can't break the other rules. Maximum 800k signing fee, and you can't give them anything higher than a 5k wage per week. You must sell any player to any team that are in League 1 or higher. So if a Premier League, Championship or League 1 team come in for one of your players, you have to sell them. And then finally, if you don't go up in the first season, you've got to sell your top goal scorer as soon as possible. League 1 transfer rules then. So no players over 70 rated this time unless they're older than 28 years old. No signings younger than 21, and you can have your 2 loan players again, but they can't break the previous rules. You can only buy from British clubs and small European leagues, so your Swedish, your Norwegian, your Belgian leagues, etc, etc. Maximum 5 signings again this season, with 1 pre-contract and 1 free agent as well. Maximum of 73 rated. This time you can spend up to £1 million on a player and offer them a 10k a week wage. You must sell any player to any team in the championship or higher, including other countries as well. And again, if you do not get promoted, you have to transfer list and sell your highest rated player this time. Right then, rules for the championship now. No players are over 74 rated unless they are over 28 years of age. No signings younger than 20 now. Still allowed those 2 loan players, but they cannot break the previous rule. Our scouting network is starting to get a little bit better because now we can buy from British and European leagues. Maximum 6 signings per season. Again, 1 pre-contract and 1 free agent. Maximum 75 rated. A maximum £5 million offer can be put in with a 25k wage. You must sell any player to Premier League or higher. That includes other countries, La Liga, Syria, etc. And then finally, if you don't make it to the Premier League, you have to transfer list and sell your highest rated player again. Now we have made it to the Premier League. It's our first season in the Prem. So, no players over 79 rated. No signings younger than 19. 2 loan players are allowed again, but they cannot break the previous rules. Now, the only stipulation on Rule 3 is that you cannot buy any players playing in European competitions. That includes the Champions League, Europa League and Conference League. Maximum 8 signings this season. 2 pre-contract signings are allowed with 1 free agent signing. Maximum £25 million transfer fee and 90k wage. You must sell any player to any team playing in a European competition. So again, your Champions League, Europa League or Conference League. And you must transfer list and sell your highest rated player if you don't stay in the Prem. Right then, we've done it. We've stayed up. And now we've made it into the Europa League or the Conference League. So, no players over 83 rated. You can sign any age player now. You cannot sign any players that are playing for a Champions League club. 2 pre-contract signings are allowed, 1 free agent that must be under the age of 23. Because by this time you should start to be looking at your regions. Maximum £35 million transfer fee with 95k wage. You must sell any player to any team that are playing in the Champions League. There's no signing limit on how many players that you can buy, and you must transfer list your highest player if you don't make it back into Europe. And then last but not least then, rules for the Champions League. No players over 85 rated in your first year of Champions League football can sign any age of any player. Cannot buy players that are playing for the clubs who won their respective leagues in the previous season. So if Real Madrid won La Liga last season, you can't go and buy Jude Bellingham. There is no signing limit, and you can still get your 2 pre-contract signings. 1 free agent signing, again still allowed, must be under 25 though. Maximum £40 million and 110k wage. Must sell any player to any team who have won their respective league in the previous season or the Champions League. And finally, you must transfer list and sell your highest rated player to any team in the Champions League if you don't make the Champions League again. And that is another 10 career mode ideas for you guys to try in FC 24. Make sure that you're subscribed. Make sure that you've liked the video if you've enjoyed any of them. Again, I want you to comment down below which ones you want to see me do in FC 24. Any more ideas that you guys have, please get them down in the comments as well. And let's just all get gas for FC 24. That's me done. I will see you very soon. Much love and peace.